Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Radio Free Wall Street. And it's been one crazy day. We've had the biggest drop in crude oil Brent in 2 years. We've had a stock market that still cannot penetrate basically the S&P 500, that 2,800 level. We got Donald Trump. He went over there. He kicked some ass today. He's my guy. I mean, he's a cool dude. He ain't taking no shit from nobody. He went there and told NATO they could all go to hell and that they need to pay 4% towards of their budget for military defense. And America ain't going to take it no more. Well, it's not quite that simple. Donald Trump has gone ahead and started a trade war. Last night, as a parting gift, as he left Washington, D.C., he added another, you gotta love this, another $100 billion in sanctions against our good friends, the Chinese. Now, he did not want the Europeans to feel left out, so he went there and told them he was going to kick their ass, and he demanded that NATO spends more money. And then he got into Merkel again. I don't think him and Merkel like each other. I think Donald Trump's partial to blonde women, and Merkel's not blonde anymore, and I guess he just doesn't like her because he told her that Germany sold out themselves by going ahead and buying natural gas from Russia. Of course, we forgot to mention that all of Europe is buying natural gas from Russia. 70%, I think, of all the natural gas consumed there comes in from Russia, wells, which are plentiful and territorially-wise very close. And British Petroleum really screwed up their wells. See, British Petroleum had one of the biggest well discoveries in the North Sea. In England, British Petroleum, England, North Sea, you got the connection. And what happened was they blew it. They mismanaged the wells because they were under enormous pressure to get more production than the wells could give, and by not managing wells properly, you killed them. So the wells expired much earlier with less than 25% of what was recovered. Fraction's about to change that. Now, you got another situation that is Leviathan. Leviathan is potentially among the world's largest gas finds off the coast of Israel. And that pipeline is going to land through Greece if it ever really gets done. So Donald Trump's raising hell about something that doesn't make any difference because Spain and Italy have invested huge amounts of money in LNG terminals to take natural gas from the United States. So anyway, he just went ahead and pissed everybody off. It just was a matter of pissing everybody off because Donald Trump likes pissing people off. And reality is that we had some very good news. As you know, we are in a major oil trade enhanced, and we've been very aggressively shorting the market, and very aggressively we let it be known that the $150, $250 bullshit stories spread by firms that we should like to point out are long in oil proved not to be true. There was doubt whether Saudi could or would up production. They have. It was a question of whether NATO would up production. They did. There was a question of Libya oil because of war, insurrection, and fighting would stop oil from coming to the market. I never let that stop oil flows in the past. And Libyan oil came back on. And U.S. frackers are fracking around the clock. And despite fear stories that there's not enough pipelines, not enough transport, can't get the oil to market, it came to market. And as a result of that, oil fell $3.60, was down more than that. And I know a lot of very happy people. Making people happy is what I love to do. And the story we have to talk about here is the fact that the stock market is starting to go, well, maybe we got a problem. You know, I saw a report from Goldman Sachs that said the trade wars would maybe take 0.1% off of GDP. I went, oh, bullshit. I mean, I love this stuff. So nothing to worry about. It's really a nothing burger. Yeah, this is devastating the economy. It's already starting to lose jobs. Challenger, the jobs report people, they run a service of announced layoffs, have started another category of layoffs due to trade wars. And I understand the box is getting checked very often and starting to fill up. So we are in a nasty-ass trade war that will lead to what? Why the Trump depression? I mean, Donald Trump wants credit for the stock market. I think we're going to get to give him a whole lot of credit. I personally will make sure that we remind him constantly of the great things he did in wiping out the economy. We got the Trump recession happening. Now, that's not his fault. 10 years of the easiest interest rates in the history of mankind has created incredible excesses. And recessions is how we knock that out of the system. Recessions, bankruptcy, wipe out stock market crashes. If you've been around long enough, you know that that's the order of the universe. And you also know that for some reason people are cussing out, oh, this time it's different. It's not going to happen. No, this time we got the mathematicians and the algorithms, and the Fed Reserve's got control of the data. And you go, well, what bullshit is that? You know, of course they're going to wipe out the economy. Of course they're going to wipe out real estate. Of course loans are going to go broke and banks are going to fail. That's how the system's designed. You remember the thing called bankruptcy laws? Why have them, you know? Yeah, since no one can go broke and no one lose money. I got it. Donald Trump will pass a law. It'll be called the Donald Trump Profit Law. You've got to make a mandatory 12% profit. Anyone that's not making a profit, they Trumpify. Why don't put them in those kiddie prisons? By the way, the kiddie prisons are where they're holding adults who've 23 hours in solitary confinement, and people are reporting that they're not even getting enough food on the pay-as-you-go prison. Now, listen. A pay-as-you-go prison? Well, you know, every slice of bread is more money in the bottom line. You know, I think that we should have slave labor colonies. You know, make them work and pay. Forced hard labor. I mean, it's part of Donald Trump's tradition as a German, and his father's tradition as a Ku Klux Klan guy. And these are people that believe in superior beings and superior people, and they understand that you have this riffraff, the mutts of the world. He doesn't like Spanish people especially. And it's okay to torture them, rip their kids from their arms because they're not people. They have no rights. Really, really, really. Anyway, as a result of Donald Trump's trade war, the stock market once again reversed its latest rally, down 219 points. S&P 500 fell 19.82 points. Composite fell 133, and my favorite, the NASDAQ Composite fell 42 points. Oh, my, me, my, oh, what's happening? Well, we're headed for the stock market crash, okay? It's like, who can, like, be around more than, you know, a few years and not figure that shit out? And the market's looking very ugly. People are getting very concerned. And one of the sure ways I know that the market's going to crash is the stupid money's been buying in the stock market in a big way. This is the beginning of the year. The people who always buy on the top and sell on the bottom and buying on the top of the stock market. Meanwhile, corporate insiders, they've been selling stock at record amounts. Corporate buybacks of stocks to boost the price, increase the earning per share, as I pointed out to yesterday's broadcast, has been a record high. And now we've got the stock market wiping out. See, Donald Trump doesn't want Billy Bob and the Trump chumps to have to pay $200 for gasoline or pickup trucks. Now, pickup truck, you know, it's a very expensive proposition. And $4 a gallon gasoline, well, that chafed Billy Bob's ass. I mean, at $4 gasoline doesn't have enough for the crystal meth. I mean, you know, and then you can't get the opioids, and then, you know, you can't go to pay the hookers on the polls. And, I mean, things really get tough for those guys very quickly now. So if you get that gasoline under $3 a gallon, well, then the life starts working, and you get enough Pabst Blue Ribbon beer to make it work, and you vote for Donald Trump. It's a pretty simple equation. Anyway, Donald Trump understands that. And let me tell you what really drove the stock market drop. We got statistics today showing how massive amounts of product is coming to market. OPEC is really increasing production. So is the U.S., so is the Russian. And more than, and the outages that they're, oh my God, Algeria is not going to produce. Oh God, no. You know, and then it goes $100, and the other guy goes, oh, 150 and 250, you get all this crazy shit. What happened was Pompeo said that they will give waivers to companies that need to lift gas from Iran. Translation, Donald Trump wants gasoline under $2 a gallon come the election, and by getting oil down to around $40 a barrel, he should be able to just do that. So this $70 a barrel oil's got a $20 drop in it, and that is an enhancement. You go, oh yeah, 20? Oh yeah, that buys you can turn some share into a Ferrari on that. And if you got a little bit of money, we can buy a mansion. Oh, thank you, Donald, my buddy. I want to apologize to everyone. I've changed my position. I love Donald Trump. I don't want to see him get impeached. I need him there. I need him going to NATO and pissing off our allies and going kissing Putin's ass. And the Germans sitting there go, wait a minute, they are planning on attacking us, and you're not going to support us, and you're going to go there and tell me how misunderstood Putin is? Donald, do it, buddy, do it. Don't you take no shit from them damn foreigners. Donald, you want to hear something how disgusting they are? They drink cold, raw vegetable soup. Does that sound disgusting, Donald? We're not talking about red blood American hamburgers with french fries and ketchup. No, sirree, Bob. They eat insects. Do you know they eat bugs, Donald? So you're not putting up with that shit. That's why Donald started a trade war with NAFTA with Canada. Got a trade war going with Mexico. Got a trade war going with Europe. And for good measure, he's thrown in South Korea, Japan, and the Chinese. Yay, Donald, go. Don't take no shit from nobody. Let me tell you. A recession is a guaranteed event with the Fed raising rates. They are going to raise rates in the next 5 quarters. That's 2 this year and all the ones next year, okay? And that means so rates are going higher and higher and higher in the short term. Yield curve is going negative. Go, Donald. Go, Donald. Now, Donald says, wait a minute. The Fed's going to get credit for that? I want credit. So he goes, I know. I'll start a trade war, and I'll turn the recession into the Trump depression. That'll get him on Time magazine, and the real cover this time. We don't have to make up a phony one. Donald, you are so great. So we got oil that Donald's driving for us. Gold and silver crashing because even some of the dumbest gold and silver bugs figured out that if you're in a deflation and a recession with higher interest rates, gold goes down. Down as in dive, dive, dive. Dollar going higher. Why? Because U.S. interest rates are the highest in the world right now. In Europe, everyone knows going to wipe out. No, who wants euros? No, that's okay. I prefer to drill a hole through my ear with a pencil than own euros. Thank you very much. So we got a wonderful time here. Key is the enhanced market is ready to trade. Key is that we are in a sweet spot of a stock market crash. We are in a very, very sweet spot for an oil wipeout. Oh, yes, baby. Donald, I know we can get gasoline cheaper than bottled water, especially that French. I know you can embargo that Perrier French water. That'll teach them. Donald, you are so brilliant. By the way, you need to understand that there's a little problem. Now, I don't want you to take it real personally. A little problem. You know, it's a bitsy, little. And the little problem is that the tariffs that we're going to punish the Chinese with and all them foreigners, well, they don't get to punish the foreigners. They punish Americans. They punish American factories that have to pay more for steel that they can't be competitive. People lose their jobs. They punish car companies that can't compete. Oh, did I mention that all users of steel manufacturers that make it into product, they're starting to shut down? Oh, yeah. Consumer products are going higher. And you know who's going to pay it? Why, you are. Now, I know a lot of you got that $1.50 a week Donald Trump tax break bonanza for broke people. And, you lost your mortgage deductibility. Oh, you lost your outrageous property tax deductibility. Oh, you lost the deductibility on the 3 income taxes, federal, state, and local. But look, you'll make it up in trade tariffs. Donald, you're so cool. You're so cool. By the way, if you can't afford that big-time, slick New York City job as a lawyer, or you can't afford that California job as an engineer, there's no problem. You come to the Midwest, hook you up, go to Kentucky, beautiful country. Coal. Coal is the future. Clean burning coal. Donald Trump's got a deal for you. Now, if coal's not your fancy, how about, wow, man, look at the sparks in the steel mill. Oh, how cool that is. That's brighter than my lava lamp. Wow, dude. So you can get a job at a steel mill. Now, if a steel mill isn't fancy, well, maybe you can get a job. I know, you get a job at the airport. They just passed a law today that says the TSS security manhandlers, you know, the really creepy ones, like, spread them, buddy. Oh, man. What's that blunt object? Ooh, you mean, people, really, do you really have like, what did you do? You spent your life, Mom? I protected the country. What did you do? I inspected 5,000 assholes a month. There was nothing in them. I'm the asshole inspector of the airport. That's my job. Oh, son, I'm so proud of you. You've made us proud, proud, proud. So anyway, the asshole inspectors, they get rough with you. They feel you up. You know, they do the kinky stuff that they're doing. It's okay. You can't sue them anymore. Got to give protection to our, well, are they the first responders, the last responders, no responders, or just sickos? You know, it's like most people spend more time in the airport getting their cheeks squeezed than they do flying in the damn airplane. Oh, the other one is courts ruled that they can make that seat as small as they want to, and you better get in there or else the TSA guy is going to get you. So in other words, no, you got. I heard of road rage. People just get pissed off in traffic. Well, now you got airport rage. Holy shit! 3 hours in the airport for an hour flight. I don't fly commercially, so it's like, no. I'll walk, thank you. Drive, take a boat. I'm not going through that shit. A lot of people have. I remember the days in aviation when you walked into the airport. There was no screening, no anything, and I remember the days when people could come right to the gate. I'll tell you a quick little airport story. When I started traveling, I was traveling between Chicago and New York, okay, and that's when I was scratching my ass trying to figure out what arbitrage was. And so I had occasionally go back and forth a lot, and that was before screening started. Well, being kind of a wet, wild maniac, it was really funny because at that time, the FBI would call you together and ask you what you were doing. I go, I'm not telling you. Even though you're not cooperating, I'm not cooperating. And so it used to piss them off. And then what they had to do is they put an FBI guy on the airplane flying behind you. And he'd go up to you and go, I'm watching you this flight. You are? Okay, I got it. Now, what's the weather like in Cuba this time? What Cuba? Yeah, Fidel's a friend of mine. Then there'd be two guys in the seat behind you, two guys in the seat in front of you. So I had a lot of fun with that, until they finally called me over and go, okay, enough of this shit. What are you doing? I said, I'm flying back and forth. I'm doing an ARB deal, trying to set it up between, New York silver and Chicago silver. So, and anyway, that ended my fun. And then they put the metal detectors. It just was never fun anymore, but it was so cool to screw with them, okay? And I knew where that was going. I mean, it was funny. They have this profiling system where they believe they can look at you and decide if you're a bad person. So the people that would be in this FBI interview line would be like a guy that had like a Hawaii shirt on with a straw hat, just kind of, some hippie-looking girl with, long braided silver hair, and tie-dyed things sticking out of, the different places on her clothing. So it was kind of funny. Now it's not so funny. Now it's really sick. I mean, it's like, I had a friend of mine go through the thing, and somebody called. Now, I don't know who it was, and it took him 4 hours, and he missed his flight. I mean, they did metal detection, they did gunpowder detection, they did swabs for chemicals. He was so pissed. So anyway, if you think about it, I would never suggest that, but I'm saying that it is interesting how ridiculous flying has really gotten. It's like, what's in the bottle? Mouthwash. You can't have it. But I want my mouthwash. I like it. Can't have it. You going to cooperate? No, I'm not going to cooperate. And then the story monsters come. And I don't know if you've been through like something, but let me tell you, I know that TSA probably got a security check to make sure these people are honest and God-fearing Americans. I'm sure they're drug-free. But the one test they're not giving them is an IQ test. No one ever did not get hired for that job because they were stupid. So this is part of parcel of the world we're going to. Now, why did I take you around this block on this? Because that kind of mentality is permeating the markets. In other words, we are not putting talent in markets. The trading markets have become more primitively traded. Valuations and the hard work going on is no longer done. It's the Jesse Livermore, what I call Jesse Livermore standards, like who's got the biggest line of bullshit and the most PR. And now, in times when margins are dropping for businesses, this trade is affecting the huge consumer economy America's built, we are going to see huge downturns in stock markets, bigger than the 2006, 7, 8, and 9 glory days. Wasn't that fun? Oh, man. We've got a situation where you have the huge debt bubble. In fact, people are, now, at least some of the ones that are half switched on are saying, listen, with the interest rates going higher, with liquidity being pulled from the system, there's a lot of bad debt out there that a lot of people own. It's going to wipe it out and bring down the system. Not being talked about. Donald Trump's trade wars, Wall Street still has not scratched their ass and saying, uh-oh, trade war? What's that? Why? Well, because it's not in their algorithm. You can't backward test a trade war because one hasn't happened. So you're now walking into the unknown zone. And in the unknown zone, the problem is that they can't calculate it in. They don't understand it. They don't know what it is. And like I said, it's going to shave 1/10 of 1% off the GDP. Shit. This is going to cause a depression. Okay, you're going to stop trade. And remember, they're kind of saying, well, China doesn't import enough from the United States to make a difference. Oh, really? Tonto, come here. Yeah, white man. Tonto. Tell them about U.S. companies investing in China. Oh, big money. Oh, you can screw them. Oh, Tonto. Tell them about the currency markets, and they can crash their yuan and completely disrupt all outflows. Oh, Tonto, bad medicine. So the problem is that Donald Trump has started a trade war. The Chinese just regard it as an economic war with an enemy that they were bound to have an economic war with anyway. So now you're going to see them manipulate their currency lower, which they're already starting to do, even though the markets are in denial. I'm telling you, the ones who only go like, U.S. companies are now losing legal fights in China. That'll be something new, huh? And Chinese courts upholding licenses agreements that are bogus. They are basically allowing state-sponsored theft of intellectual material. Donald Trump doesn't know about that. See, how many toasters did we die there? 10? All right. So what you've got is a trade war that has America thinking, well, we're so smart. We buy trillions from them. They buy hundreds of millions from us. We can show them. Well, no. He's not going to start with the merchandise deficit. They're going right to the currency and finance. Oh, duh. They're going to go right to U.S. huge investment in China and just cornhole them and go like, oh, yeah, we appreciate the $3 billion and leave your suitcase at the airport when you leave, but you can have the clothes on your back. Goodbye. You know where I saw that? I'll tell you a story. Dubai, dead broken Dubai. Dubai went through this crazy building boom, okay? It's still crazy, okay? And one of the secrets is, though you can't say because then they execute you, is that the real estate's a wipeout. And things got so bad that people were dropping off their Rolls-Royce, their Bentleys, Ferraris, and other exotic cars and just leaving because there you go to jail for debt, and it's a punishable crime if you talk negative about the kingdom or the economy. How do you like them out? Boy, how much trouble the guy being? Oh, shit. Oh, man, the banker's there. You said something bad about a bank? All right, well, we'll chop off what, right hand or left hand? So what's happening is we are heading into a situation where we don't understand the genie without the bottle, okay? It's kind of like getting a can of nerve gas and kind of opening up and going, that smells funny. I mean, you just don't know what the hell you did. You're stupid. And that's Donald Trump. But now remember, he may be stupid. He may be a fool. He may be really screwing things up in the economy. He may be making a lot of enemies in the global economy. But you know what the nice thing about it? He's our fool. And I love him because our fool is going to make us a fortune. A fortune is crazy shit he's doing. Oh, my God, trade wars with our best allies? Lumber prices have doubled and in some cases tripled. Oh, Mr. Homebuilder, you ain't got no problem because you got no Mexicans to run that nail gun anymore. You can't afford the nails from the steel tariffs. You can't afford the wood from the lumber tariffs. Mr. Newspaper, you know the fake news? Donald Trump took care of that. Yeah, most of these newspapers can't buy the newsprint. It's too expensive. Oh, paper towel? Okay, no more toilet paper. Donald Trump doesn't need it. His shit not only doesn't stink, but it's not even sticky. That's the kind of guy we got. Man, I'll tell you what, he's a guy. Toilet paper prices are going to go high, paper towels. A whole host of consumer products are getting ready to take off. Did I tell you about the soybean guys? Remember beans in the teens? That was always a battle cry. I remember when beans in the teens have been twice in the cycle. Now, I have a saying, and that is if you can smoke it, drink it, eat it, get high off of it, or have sex with it, don't trade it. Male or female, LGBT is also included in that list. So I don't trade those things. But I certainly keep track of them, and the reality is that, oh my God, soybean guy? Shit, just leave that shit in the field. Don't pay to trade it. Nobody's going to buy it from you anyway. Mr. Corn guy? Uh-oh. But the one I really like is pork. And I'll tell you what, you want to hear a story. I had a friend of mine in New York that was, in Chicago we did ARB. We did silver. And these guys were doing pork bellies. And this guy was a religious Jew who had never had a piece of pork in his life. And I remember him trying to explain to me how come it was okay for the trade pork bellies. So that just goes to show you people can justify anything. His rabbi said it was okay. By the way, a really famous local on the floor pork belly trader, right? Unbelievable. So, in fact, I thought of him because, no more pork bellies in China. China is the largest consumer of pork. Did I mention China is the world's largest producer, buyer of soybeans? Oh, you knew that, huh? Well, now all of a sudden it's like, shit's going to hit the fan. I love uh-ohs. It's really good. So the Iowa pork producers, no more. Yep. Pork is in trouble. Mexico is fighting over pork. Dairy producers? Well, you got Canada. You're going to get shit on by that deal. By the way, the TPP solved a lot of these problems, but Donald Trump didn't even sit down at the table and consider it. So Donald's doing, you have to understand, Donald's doing great things for us. He is absolutely, positively going to give us one of the greatest wipeouts, depression ever. And he does it because that's what Donald Trump does. I mean, he wants to be the guy who's the guy. He wants to piss everybody else off. He wants to make America not so great again. And it's looking really ugly out there. And all I can tell you is, uh-oh. So we're moving into this realm where these trade wars are going to get bigger and badder and uglier. And Donald Trump really don't care. It's the art of the deal, I guess, is what he wants to tell you. And it's quite a deal that he's going to do the art with. So at some point, people are going to wake up one day and go, oh, we got a Trump depression here. We got ourselves a real problem, and Donald Trump made that problem. When you realize that, then you can realize that the world is going to forever change. We are headed for a Trump depression. We are headed for a lot of misunderstandings about a lot of the manipulation he wants to do. And at some point, people are going to have to wake up and realize that Donald Trump is the man of the hour. He is the man that is going to drive us into some really ugly situations. I really warn you. So I hope you've got a plan, because Donald Trump has. And there's nothing good in his plan for mankind. And you will see as the economy slows down, and you'll see as the stock market crashes, real estate, we are due for debt. And the really crazy shit about this is, it makes no sense. It makes no sense what he's doing here, okay? These trade wars are not going to work out. They are not going to bring America fair trade. They are not going to improve American factories and industries, just the opposite. So I want you fully aware of this. And I want you to know that we're already seeing the effects now. And the really cool part about this is that, again, the markets don't understand that, and when they figure it out, well, it's going to be curtains. It's going to be a really ugly situation and a really ugly market that's going to come unglued. And I don't want you hurt by that. By the way, it's also probably the best trading market I've ever seen, and things are just getting started. So as time goes on, the ugliness of the markets will become more apparent to more people. The slowdown will begin to bite, especially consumer economy. In other words, consumer goods that are seeing the tariff wars take effect. U.S. manufacturers are going to be in a world of hurt. And I really believe Donald Trump knows this. These bad trade deals he wants to tell you about, well, where'd they come from? Where are they going? And I'll answer another question. Has Donald Trump improved any trade deal? Has he improved a lot of any manufacturer? I mean, even Harley's got I don't know, if you're Harley and Donald Trump's really pissed off at you, what do you do? Go we didn't do it, Donald, it wasn't us? I don't know. It's everybody takes their manufacturing outside the United States at some point to some degree. It's how the supply chain works in the world we live in. I don't think Donald Trump wants to hear that or understand it. And this scene at NATO, and I want to close with that, we have a real threat. Russia is arming itself to the teeth, and it ain't little toys, okay? It's serious stuff. Greatly expanding the sophistication and depth of its nuclear arsenal and creating some very ingenious, complicated weapons. They are building bases closer and closer, like Poland, to the former Soviet states. They're making inroads on the Baltic Sea. And Donald Trump's going there trashing NATO, wondering if America should even be in it. And now he's going to go talk to his bro, Putin, and tell him who loves you, baby. Now, these kind of missteps bring attacks and wars. Donald Trump has defended the Crimea and the little Yugoslavia adventurism because he said, well, a lot of people there talk Russian, so it's okay. Okay, a lot of people in America speak Spanish. Is it okay for Mexico to attack us? I mean, the point is that, some of Donald Trump's positions are beyond stupid. And to say the least, very dangerous. So I would propose to you that we are getting into a realm that is very dangerous on trade. We're getting into a realm militarily that's very dangerous. We're getting into a Donald Trump who absolutely is making a mockery of trade systems negotiations. Your country said, listen, when you went into these crazy wars, we sent our troops to die with you. We've been a friend of America and everything, and now, why are you pissing on us? And the answer is, I guess it's the art of some deal. I don't know if it's a deal that I would have anything to do with, but it's very, very dangerous. And so you have to prepare yourself for what is going to be an incredible economy that is going to slow down dramatically. You're going to have to prepare yourself for a Donald Trump that is not going to back away. A lot of people are saying, well, this is just the art of the deal, and he's going to take a hard line and back off. No. Donald Trump's got a full head of steam. He's going to push this and push this and push this to the end, and it's going to end very, very badly. Now, as far as the markets, phenomenal opportunities like I've never seen coming up in the markets. Trade wars are great for trades with market wipeouts, especially when people don't understand. The markets are not pricing in the implications of Donald Trump's trade war. The markets are not understanding what Donald Trump is doing. They do not understand his end game. And you want to see something else? I don't think Donald Trump knows a way out of this thing. He has got to have this hardline position to win the elections, and that's all he's looking at. What is this about? It's about the elections and nothing else. It's about making Billy Bob vote for him and nothing else. And after the midterms, with his desire to keep the House and Senate, then he'll decide how to sort this out. But by then, it'll be too late. This is about to spin out of control. In fact, it's no longer a trade dispute. It's a full-blown tit-for-tat trade war right now, at this very minute. And from this point, it gets uglier and uglier. So you have been warned. Fantastic market opportunities. A lot of money to be made. And Donald Trump wants to do it for you because who loves you, baby? Donald does. Just ask him. And he wants to make America great again. I thought America was pretty great. And I thought it was a world leader and had a world-class military and won the Cold War, the only remaining superpower. Not anymore. The price will be paid by every American, every citizen, and unfortunately by a lot of Europeans who are about to have to learn to speak Russian.